Picture this: one hand on the doorknob, the other holding a travel mug, and you pause just long enough to meet your partner's eyes and smile. It's tiny, almost nothing, and yet it shifts the air between you like opening a window on a stuffy day. The smallest actions can tilt the whole emotional weather of a home, and that's why small gestures in relationships are far bigger than they look. If you've been busy, tired, or stretched thin, this is your invitation to try the lightest touch with the biggest return. We're exploring the micro moments that quietly build long-term satisfaction, the ones that fit into real life in the United States: morning commutes, quick lunches, late-night dishes, and the everyday rush. Research shows that attention, warmth, and responsiveness are the glue, even when they arrive in subtle, almost invisible ways. Think of them as tiny deposits in your shared emotional bank account. Over time, they compound. Welcome to Whispered Hearts. English, a space where we treat your love like the most important project you'll ever work on. Today, we're not making grand plans or dramatic vows. We're aiming for something gentler and more sustainable. The kind of change you can make before your coffee finishes brewing. A morning smile is deceptively powerful. It's not performance, it's acknowledgement, a way of saying, "I see you and I'm with you," before the day pulls you both in different directions. Add a light touch on the arm, a warm "sleep okay?" or a playful wink at the kitchen counter. It's a soft reset that tells your nervous systems you're on the same team. But there's something even quieter holding love together. It's the split-second choice you make when you're rushed. Do you glance at the screen, or do you glance at your person? That single pivot decides the tone of the next hour. What would it change in your home if you paused for 2 seconds and chose the person? On the drive to work, or while the subway hums underneath the city, you can build another tiny bridge. Send a quick message that isn't a to-do, just a warm presence. Thinking of you. Hope your 10 a.m. goes smoothly, or that sweater looked great on you. Therapists report that positive, unprompted contact builds a sense of being cared for, even when life is loud. Have you noticed how your body relaxes when a simple message lands at just the right time? Midday offers more of these chances. Maybe you're walking from one meeting to the next, or you're reheating leftovers in a break room that smells faintly of coffee and microwaved pasta. A 30-second check-in doesn't need to solve anything. It just maintains your invisible thread. But here's the twist most couples miss. The smallest signals are loud, and the loudest signals are sometimes empty. Saying "I love you" is beautiful, and showing "I noticed" can be even more potent. What's one tiny thing your partner does that you can acknowledge today? Unprompted affirmations are a subtle art. They work best when they're specific, concrete, and anchored in real effort. Thanks for taking the trash out before it rained. I appreciated how you handled that call with patience. I love how you make our home feel calm when the week gets chaotic. Specific praise isn't flattery, it's recognition. If you're listening right now, consider this a gentle challenge that doubles as a retention boost for your day. Pick one ordinary behavior you take for granted and name it out loud the next time you see it. Keep it short and sincere. What shows up in your partner's face when you do? Evenings are where the micro moments can be easiest to lose and most valuable to keep. The day has tossed you around, you're hungry, the dog needs walking, and packages are piled by the door. This is the time to offer a simple landing. Want a few minutes to decompress? Or should we talk while I get dinner started? But there's something even more grounding you can do in the hush before sleep. A bedtime gratitude check-in changes the emotional temperature of the room. You don't need candlelight or a perfect routine. Just trade one thing you appreciated about the other person that day, and one small thing you hope to repeat tomorrow. On chilly winter nights, when the heat kicks on with a soft click and the windows show a thin film of frost, the quiet act of gratitude feels like an extra blanket. In spring, when the air smells like rain and the streets shine under streetlights, it feels like opening the window an inch to let in possibility. Seasonal moments are emotional memory triggers. Pairing gratitude with them helps the feeling stick. Repair after conflict is another place where micro-moments matter more than eloquent speeches. Most arguments don't need a trial-length closing statement. They need a safe signal. A soft, "I got defensive back there, I'm sorry," followed by a short, specific offer. "Let me redo the calendar with your priorities in mind," can turn the evening around. Have you noticed how your chest loosens when your partner gets specific about repair? It's easy to think that romance lives in grand gestures. Weekends away, big surprises, elaborate plans. Those are wonderful. And yet, daily micro-gestures are the heartbeat. A hand at the small of the back when you pass in the hallway, a cup of water placed by the bed, a blanket pulled up when the movie runs long. They're quiet, but your body hears them. Public kindness is an underrated micro-moment. When you're out at the grocery store on an autumn afternoon, leaves skittering across the parking lot and the cartwheels clicking, speak about each other with respect. A light joke that doesn't cut. A please and thank you that isn't performative. Your partner notices, even when they pretend not to. But there's a deeper layer to these small choices. They're less about technique and more about tone. The tone says, "We're safe here, and people grow where they feel safe." What small shift in your tone would make your home feel sturdier? If you're a parent, a student, or just living a life with too many tabs open, the good news is that micro-moments fit in the margins. You can stack them. Smile plus touch, text plus encouragement, apology plus action. You can sprinkle them. Hello at the door, quick squeeze at the sink, warm glance in the aisle. Which margins in your day look big enough for a 2-second investment? One way to think about it is this. You're not trying to build a castle today. You're laying one smooth stone and pressing it into place. Later, another. Over time, your walkway appears. When you think of your relationship as a path rather than a palace, progress feels possible. Commuter life offers surprising cracks for connection. At a red light, breathe and ask yourself one caring question to send later. On the train, notice the rhythm of the tracks and imagine your message falling into it. Steady, simple, kind. During a work sprint, set a tiny reminder that says, "Look up." What do you find when you lift your head? But there's a reason this sometimes feels hard, even when you want it. Stress narrows your attention, and the body goes into self-protective focus. That's normal. In those moments, micro-moments are an antidote because they widen the frame just enough to include both of you. Touch deserves a special mention, not only the romantic kind, but brief, caring contact. The squeeze of a shoulder, the palm-to-palm press as you pass a mug, the forehead kiss in a kitchen that smells of garlic and onions. Research shows that reassuring touch calms the nervous system and signals closeness without words. How does your partner respond to the kinds of touch that ask for nothing? Midday humor works like a sunbeam through blinds. A single line, a shared meme, a tiny inside joke from last weekend's barbecue in the park. It says, "We still have us, even when meetings stacked and emails multiplied. Playfulness is a micro moment with long legs. Here's a curiosity spike to carry us into the next layer. What if the difference between a tense evening and a light one is decided in the 3 seconds after you walk through the door? Not by what you say, but by the quality of your exhale. Even the way you greet your home matters. The thud of your bag dropping, the sigh, the "hey." Consider softening the entry with a brief pause to scan your partner's mood. Offer what fits: a laugh, a hug, or a promise to circle back after a shower. What would it change if your first move matched their moment? When plans collide, micro moments can save the night. "I double-booked us. That's on me. Give me 10 minutes to fix it" is short, accountable, and calming. Follow it with a small act of service. Order takeout. Clear the table. Make space. Repair isn't perfection. It's the willingness to move toward each other again. But there's more to learn from the littlest kindnesses. They teach you to look with softer eyes, to notice the way your partner's shoulders drop when you say, "I've got the dishes tonight," to understand that love's volume knob doesn't need to be turned all the way up for you to hear it clearly. Weekends offer playful micro moments that refill the well. On a summer evening, when the air holds a warm sweetness and kids on bikes laugh down the block, take a short walk together with no purpose but to wander. Point out the porch with the climbing roses, the neighbor's new mailbox, the sky glowing apricot. You're not trying to get anywhere. You're trying to be where you are. If resentment has crept in, start tiny. One honest sentence and one kind action. "I've been short with you this week. I don't like how that feels. Can we reset over tea tonight?" Then pour the tea. Your body will teach your mind what connection feels like again. In public, offer micro-respect. Back your partner up in a conversation. Let your eyes show warmth when they're telling a story. Resist the quick correction that makes you right, but makes the room colder. Which would you rather be, right or close? Here at Whispered Hearts, English, we hold a simple promise. You don't have to do love alone, and you don't have to do it perfectly to make it beautiful. The smallest efforts are not just allowed, they are celebrated. If you've ever thought your relationship requires big time or big money to feel good again, consider this your gentle permission to begin with a breath and a smile. You belong in a community that notices what works and repeats it. But there's a challenge that can make this real in your week. Try a 7-day micro-moment experiment. Choose one tiny action each morning and one each evening. Track how the room feels, how your body feels, how your partner's eyes look. At the end of each day, trade one sentence of gratitude. If that feels like too much, set a phone note to capture a single phrase. Keep it gritty and true. "Thanks for cleaning the pan I left soaking. I loved hearing your laugh on the phone with your sister." If your partner doesn't reciprocate right away, hold steady. You're changing an atmosphere, not demanding a performance. Subtle shifts take time to be seen, and love grows best in a space that doesn't measure every seed by the hour. When the inevitable rough patch returns, return to the micro. Breathe before responding. Lower your voice instead of raising your point. Ask, "What would help right now?" Then do the next small thing you hear. Have you ever noticed how a soft tone can disarm a hard moment? On the nights when words feel heavy, borrow the language of touch again. Sit with a gentle shoulder lean. Offer the blanket without commentary. Turn the light slightly warmer and let the room be cozy while your systems reset. Sometimes comfort is the truest conversation. If distance has grown, start the bridge with 2 questions. What have I not been seeing? And what would make you feel more cared for this week? Listen to the first answer as if you've been waiting for it. Then pick one tiny behavior you can repeat. Not perform. But there's a bright truth waiting underneath all this. The couples who last aren't the ones who never stumble. They're the ones who keep turning toward each other, moment after moment, in ways so small they're almost hard to film. You can do that. In your kitchen, on your porch, at the crosswalk with the blinking hand. If you felt overwhelmed by relationship advice, let today be simple. Look up, smile, touch. Name something good you see. Then ask one question that opens a window instead of closing a door. Before we leave, I want you to imagine one morning, 6 months from now. The coffee maker gurgles, the dog shakes his collar, and the tags jingle. You pass your partner in the hallway, and, by habit now, your shoulder brushes theirs, and you both smile without thinking. That's not an accident. That's practice. Tonight, before bed, try the gratitude check-in. In the middle of a busy Wednesday, send the message you would love to receive. When plans wobble, offer repair with a short apology and a small action. If you do that, star by star, your ordinary sky gets brighter. You don't need a speech to shift the weather at home. You need a few breaths, a willingness to notice, and the courage to go first. These arcs of attention are yours to give, and they come back to you multiplied. As we wrap, remember the heart of this message. Small gestures in relationships can be the difference between drifting and drawing close. If this episode helped you see one place to add a tiny spark, try it today and tell us what happened in the comments. Thank you for being here with Whispered Hearts, English. I'm glad you're building something gentle and strong.